details, you're liable to be arrested.
You will not get my details. I'll tell you that straight, because I've done nothing wrong.
That's fine. I'm going to ask you again. You have. You've caused our staff harassment, alarm, distress.
And I'm going to tell you no.
There is concern around your behaviour and how it's making our staff feel.
And I'm going to tell you no.
I'm going to make that request from you to provide me with your name and
address. I'm going to tell you no, because I've done nothing wrong.
Please.
You're under arrest.
Okay, right. Hang on. Just before you do, would you mind just reading my wrist, please? Okay, I've got a medical bracelet on that wrist. Before he puts that on, I've got a medical bracelet. Okay, you pull the Velcro. Yeah. Okay, just so you know. Hang on, no, the inspector's just looking at this. Okay, and just so you know, okay. Yeah, okay, I've got my walking stick just in here.
A lawful man, a public space, and a senior inspector who invents powers on the spot. Within seconds, a peaceful audit turns into an arrest, and the camera rolls on. This is how your rights disappear, one unlawful order at a time. You're about to see the full breakdown. From first contact to wrongful arrest, how Inspector Barden rewrote the law to crush a camera, and how it all unravels on tape. Let's rewind. Hours before the cuffs. This is how it began.
Just a little bit concerned as to why you're filming inside Sussex Police premises.
Well, first of all, could you actually identify yourself properly for me?
Yeah, of course. My name's Inspector Simon Barden. I'm one of the duty inspectors up in our
Inspector?
Simon Barden.
Simon Barden, okay.
So I work in the Force Contact Control Room, so we're just wondering why you're stood on our property filming into...
No, I'm stood on public property.
Okay.
So let's verify that.
Okay.
So, and I'm just doing a bit of filming.
But you're filming into private property?
It makes no difference.
It does.
Why is that? What law am I breaking?
Because you're filming private property and you haven't...
It makes no difference.
Well, it does. You can't film into private property.
Yes, I can.
Okay, under what law?
Okay. The law is I can film whatever I can see in public.
It starts quietly at Sussex Police and East Sussex Fire HQ. No raised voices. No threats. Just a camera on public land and an inspector who should know better.
Okay. And if you're saying that I can't film in, okay, you can't trespass the eye.
No, but what you can do is you're gaining people's personal information.
What personal information is that then?
So there's people's
Listen
to me.
No, don't tell me to listen.
No, listen to me. You've asked me a question, so let me answer the question. It's fine. I don't mind engaging with you and talking to you. I haven't come down for a row with you. But there are staff members that are coming in. You're putting their security at risk because you could potentially...
I'm not putting anyone's security at risk.
But you could be, couldn't you?
No, that's a presumption, okay? I'm not doing anything wrong.
No, it's not a presumption because I said you could. I didn't say you were, I said you could be. So that's not a presumption, that's me suggesting that you could be.
Okay, and how would I be putting their safety at risk then?
So what are you doing with those films?
Well, it's for personal use.
Okay, what?
In Britain, the public may film anything visible from public land. No permit, no permission. Yet Barden moves in as if a crime is in progress.
To actually record what the public pay for.
Okay, but this isn't a police station, this is police headquarters.
It makes no difference, the public still pay for it.
Okay, I don't understand what you're trying to achieve though, because if you want to make sure...
I'm not trying to achieve anything, I'm just filming what the public pay for.
Okay, but if you're trying to prove that the public are paying and getting value for service, surely you'd be better...
I didn't say that, I didn't say that at all.
So what did you say?
Okay, I said I'm just here to film what the public pay for, that's it.
Okay, for what reason?
My own reason.
Okay.
This is fishing for information, hoping the filmer will incriminate himself with an explanation. But you don't need to explain a lawful act to the police.
Have a conversation with you and engage with you, and
yeah,
you're not particularly willing to engage.
Yeah, but that conversation is irrelevant. Okay, that's called fishing for information.
It's not called fishing. It's called engaging with someone. It's called.
Yeah, I'll have a conversation about whatever you want. Okay, but whether or not I've been here or not, or whether or not I'm actually filming, I'm just doing exactly what I'm perfectly lawfully allowed to do.
Okay.
That is what I'm doing. I'm doing exactly...
Every question is a trap. Every refusal is a right exercised. This back and forth shows why understanding your freedoms matters. Because without it, the uniform wins by default. Here.
My concern would be is that, do you pose a security threat?
Okay, your concern and what the law is are two different things.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Okay, your feelings and what you feel is not the law. Okay, what I'm doing is perfectly lawful.
Not if you pose a security threat.
In what way? You still haven't answered that.
Have you answered my question?
Okay, you still haven't answered that.
Have you answered my questions?
I don't need to answer your questions.
And I don't need to answer your questions.
Okay, that's the thing.
But I
okay?
don't need to answer your questions either, because you're doing something lawful, and so am I at this point,
Okay.
aren't I?
No,
Am I
because
acting outside of the law?
yes, because you just said that your feelings, okay, is the same as the law. They're not.
I didn't say
Let's
that.
verify
I didn't say
that.
that. You...
Bardon reveals his thinking. He argues that his concern equals law. It doesn't. The UK's legal system is built on legislation, not personal feelings. The courts have ruled repeatedly. The public's discomfort does not override the public's right to record.
License plates, okay, are in the public domain, sir.
Are you recording police vehicles? Are you recording information on police staff?
I'm recording whatever I can see. Okay, that is what I'm doing.
Bear with me a second.
Okay, so guys, you can see there, that's Inspector Bardon. Okay, and his feelings are what he's going on, and he's saying that I'm breaking the law and I'm a security risk on that front. So let's see what Inspector Bardon actually...
Security risk, the go-to phrase when nothing illegal is happening. But UK law doesn't criminalize hypotheticals. It requires evidence.
So I think that's one that he needs to go back to the actual board. Now you got an inspector going to see as an actual security receptionist who actually said, yeah, it's okay to film, it's a public area. And that is what makes me laugh. So that's what the inspector has now done and is doing. So yeah, so, and this is the thing, I don't have to answer their questions. If he decides that he doesn't want to answer mine and he wants to be ignorant, then that is exactly down to him. Okay, but for him to say that what he feels is the same as the law, wow.
Unable to make a legal case, Bardon retreats. The power dynamic shifts, but the camera keeps rolling. Accountability does not blink.
Of an inspector doing that. So you can see just there he's brought a goon with him. So yeah, we're just going to wait and see how much of his so-called feelings are part of the law. So Inspector Bardon, I must remember that one. So
Now addresses the audience directly, exposing the inspector's ignorance. This is the power of transparency, holding authority accountable in real time.
So, and that's what you call a complete disgrace when you got an inspector that comes out, doesn't know the law, and now he went over, spoke to the security on there, and then he's come over and he's now stopped the unit here because he doesn't know what the law is.
When the law won't back him up, Bardon calls reinforcements, dragging more uniforms into the standoff. But more eyes also mean more scrutiny.
Afternoon, gents. How are you?
How are you?
Not too bad. Well, first of all, could you identify yourself properly for me, please?
Certainly on PC Cross.
PC Cross.
Yeah, this is my warrant number.
Okay. KB, sorry, I didn't catch that. KB CC043. Thank you very much.
Just want to make.
And yourself, sir.
What's your name first?
No, and your name, sir. If you can identify yourself properly for me.
Identify yourself after I identify myself, you know.
If you can identify yourself, it's in your policy to actually identify yourself. KB CR380. Thank you very much.
What's your name, please, sir?
That's irrelevant.
Why is that relevant?
A new face appears. PC Cross. The filmer demands names, warrant numbers, a cornerstone of UK policing policy. Professionals identify themselves. Amateurs dodge.
You cannot be alarm and distress while in office of your duty, and that is case law. Okay, so you cannot.
Aren't working.
No, you cannot.
Leaving.
You cannot.
Listen.
It makes no
Listen.
difference. No, please don't tell me I have to listen. I hadn't finished. Okay,
Why
as
are
an
you
officer,
filming here, though?
okay.
We'll have a back and forth conversation.
Yeah, but as an officer, you cannot be alarmed and distressed.
Why are you filming?
Just how you
Causing
think,
my
we'll explain
colleagues
why that's
Okay.
harassment, alarm and distress. Why are you filming here?
Because
What's the
I'm well
purpose?
within my legal rights to do so.
But why?
It's a public service that the public
Have you a
pays
keen
for.
interest in the police?
Okay, I have an interest in all public services.
So you do this on a regular basis?
Okay, that's irrelevant.
Well, rather than filming us, why don't you ask us some questions and we can if
Well,
you're interested in the
well,
police, we
first,
can give you
well, first of all, okay, if I had been approached correctly, okay,
have done.
then I would have, okay, but your inspector hadn't, okay. You've come out, you've made an allegation, okay, towards me.
an allegation.
No, you did. You made an allegation that your staff, okay, are alarmed and distressed, okay.
Yes,
Now the story shifts. It's no longer about trespasser privacy. It's about staff feeling harassed and distressed. But case law says uniformed officers can't claim harassment for being filmed on duty. Under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002, police must show harassment of a member of the public, not an on-duty officer, before demanding ID.
Staff leaving this building, or this facility, in their plain clothes, in their own car, you filming them has caused them alarm, harassment and distress. Okay? They're not on duty as police officers, so they can feel alarm and distress. Okay? And you are causing that by filming them.
Not when they're leaving the property. They're still on the property. Yes, they are.
You can understand, as a police officer, it's a big security risk.
From that here all the way round inside this property, okay, I can film.
It doesn't matter. When we book off our system off duty, we're off duty. However, what
Okay.
we are going to clarify is whether what you're standing on is private land. So we're
It's
gonna-
publicly accessible.
No.
It's publicly accessible under Section 33 of the Criminal
We're
Justice
going to
Act.
find out whether
Okay,
this part that you're standing on is private.
right. Well, just so you know, okay, I got permission from the people in there, okay, which is all on camera, and said you're perfectly fine to walk all round.
We're
Okay,
going to seek
and so on.
clarity.
Private or public? Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act defines publicly accessible land. No signage means no restriction, and rights remain intact.
The building.
No, I'm filming what I can see.
Well,
Okay.
what you're doing is you're filming people leaving in their personal vehicles. Okay?
not exciting.
And that's
And-
a security threat.
No, how is that a security
You've got their
threat?
registration.
That's
Do
a presumption.
Do you not see what happens in the world?
That's a presumption.
You're not seeing what's happening in the world.
Okay, yeah, but that is a presumption, okay?
not a
And
presumption.
where you just said, okay, about to do with license plates, okay? License plates are in the public domain, okay? You guys have
But
access
what
to
you're
that
doing is you're
information.
putting that on YouTube and you're specifically...
Who said that? Who said that? Whoa, whoa, whoa,
You're
hang on a
filming
minute,
it,
whoa, whoa,
you're gonna
hang
put
on.
it in the
Security again. But license plates and building exteriors visible from public ground carry no expectation of privacy. UK courts are clear on this.
And you are not going to actually talk over me, okay? You are a public servant, okay? I am here as a member of the public to film public property, okay, and a public service that the public pay for, okay? I'm doing a completely lawful activity, okay? I'm breaking no law, I'm committing no crime, right? And I should carry on about my business, okay? If you decide that you want to harass me, then you carry on and do that, sir. But I'm going to carry on with my business, okay? And I will bid you both good day.
He reaffirms it. Lawful activity, no crime. In a society built on rights, you don't need permission to exercise them. You need legislation to restrict them. Arden has neither.
There could be people out there
Well, no, that's
that might
a
want to
presumption.
cause them
As I
harm.
say,
It's not a
you
presumption.
stated
It's
what
not a
I may
presumption.
do with this.
It's
You
not a
stated what I
presumption.
may do with
The
it.
issue you
Can
have
you step
is-
back a little bit, please?
The issue you have...
Could you step back a little bit,
What you're
please?
doing is you're causing our colleagues harassment,
Would you mind
alarm and
stepping
distress.
back a little bit,
okay?
please?
You're causing our colleagues
Would
harassment,
you
alarm
mind
and
stepping
distress.
back a little bit, please?
Okay. Why don't you
Okay?
step back
Right.
further over there to
No,
the pavement
because
over
I
there?
moved to here and you came to me. Okay?
I've come
Just
to you
because you're... Yeah,
because
I
it's strange,
moved
and
from
I'm
there
asking you
to
why
here,
you're filming.
and you
why you're
walked to
filming.
me.
I'm asking
okay?
you why you're
If
filming.
you don't want to be that close to someone,
I'm asking
then
you
don't
why
walk
you're
up to
filming.
them that way.
Listen
Yeah?
to me for a minute.
Okay?
Why
If
have
you ask your colleague to step back, I will talk with you.
Perfectly he's standing.
No,
he's
he's
not the way
walked
he
right
wants
the
to
way
stand.
up.
He's
Now,
not-
this is me
not
feeling
in the
alarmed.
The confrontation peaks. Officers close in, accusations fly, and a false claim of physical contact appears. This is intimidation territory, and the camera captures every second.
So I just wanted to clarify some things. You're right, this is a public area. You are entitled to film here. However, your behaviour is causing our staff harassment, alarm and distress.
Who's that then?
So we've had members of our staff complaining about you, filming them, leaving the premises, and that is causing them harassment, alarm and distress.
As a police officer or police star, they cannot be the victim of being alarmed and distressed. No, they cannot. You need to actually look at that. It is case law and it is there.
Sir, listen to me. Yes, they can.
No, they cannot.
Yes, they can. So as such, under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002, I'm going to ask you to provide me your details, your name and address.
Now, I will actually state this.
Section 50, their final card. Provide your details or face arrest. But under law, it applies only if harassment of a member of the public within 150 meters can be shown. They have none.
Details, you're liable to be arrested.
You will not get my details. I'll tell you that straight because I've done nothing wrong.
That's fine. I'm going to ask you again. You've caused our staff harassment, alarm, distress.
And I'm going to tell you no.
There is concern around your behaviour and how it's making our staff feel.
And I'm going to tell you no.
I'm going to make that request from you to provide me with your name and
address.
And
I'm going to tell you no because I've done nothing wrong.
You're under arrest.
Okay, right. Hang on. Just before you do, would you mind just reading my wrist, please? Okay, I've got a medical bracelet on that wrist. Before he puts that on, I've got a medical bracelet. Okay, you pull the Velcro. Okay, just so you know. Hang on, no, the inspector's just looking at this. Okay, and just so you know, okay, I've got my walking stick just in here.
And there it is. Arrest without evidence. The inspector's feelings trump the law, for now. But this is also where lawsuits and disciplinary hearings are born.
Make me move, okay, if I can actually have my walking stick, or I can have a shoulder to lean on.
We're going to hold on.
Okay, if I can actually have one of those, that'd be more than welcome.
As the filmer is led away, one fact is undeniable. Every second of this footage is evidence. Evidence of power abused, of laws invented, of a public right defended at personal cost. Let's break it down. In the UK, the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, PACE, and the Police Reform Act set strict limits on search, detention, and demands for ID. Filming in public is not a crime. To invoke Section 50, officers must have reasonable grounds that harassment occurred against a member of the public. Without that, detention or arrest can be unlawful, exposing the force to claims of false arrest or misconduct. This is why cameras matter. Without them, this encounter would vanish into paperwork. With them, the public sees exactly how authority behaves when it thinks no one is watching. The case of Inspector Bardon is not just one incident. It's a warning about how easily rights can be suspended when public servants forget who they serve. Feelings are not law. No officer's discomfort overrides your legal rights. Public space equals public accountability. If you can see it, you can film it. Knowledge is armor. Knowing the law is the only shield against invented powers. If you believe in accountability, share this video. Subscribe to Audit Insight. Your support keeps this truth alive. Together, we can make sure every badge knows the law and lives by it.